and how will you make sure that this funding from several countries can be pooled and coordinated and at the end implemented? Do we have any volunteers, or we'll leave it for the end? Aligning funds, having operative people working on that transnational project, aligning that with Mr. Cernadak, if you want.
I'm fine.
No one wants to talk that. Okay, we'll leave it then for the summit in Greece. And Mr. Bushati and Mr. Karistis mentioned the socioeconomic element of it. Bosnia is in its early stage of EU integration. So what would you emphasize as a key point for Bosnia in this framework of this macro-regional strategy? And how do you see linkages and synergies with the Danube strategy can be better exploited, especially you have the huge case on environmental challenges in Bosnia? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Well, I will try to be alive as much as possible. And you know, I urge my colleagues as well, because of the way how we started the panel, by you saying, or somebody else, that we were late with ministerial lunch. So it wasn't only us who were late, and we are not sleepy. We can go on. First of all, the question you said at the beginning about the funds, I think we are all waiting for some good answer to this. And if I look at the media, what they want to know about this from Bosnia and Herzegovina, it's mostly about how much money and from where it is coming. So we look forward to this as well. And of course, the second question that rises up the most is pretty much the same what you just asked just a few minutes ago. What is in this for us actually as countries, as applicant countries for the EU? First of all, Bosnia and Herzegovina's key strategic foreign policy goal is membership to EU. But this new Council of Ministers that is in place now for 1 year, we have positioned the neighboring policy and regional cooperation as equally important priority, even maybe more important, because if we do not have this, if we do not have good relations, first of all with our neighbors, Serbia, Croatia, Montenegro, and then with our regional partners, it's impossible to move on forward. So we see really this initiative as another contribution by us to the regional cooperation, and also we see this as another help for our European ambitions. And I think this event in Dubrovnik and this initiative in general are showing that we are right with this, because I think we are managing to portray ourselves as the real and true applicant. We really see this as a forum through which we can present our case, if I may say so, to really show ourselves as an important, as serious players who can not only want to be, but also can be the part of European family. And let me emphasize one more thing, because I think most of the people in the room know about very complicated system in Bosnia and Herzegovina. And in Bosnia and Herzegovina we can find just a few things maybe that we can all agree on. And one of the very important, probably the most important politically speaking now, is this European future of the country. And all of the constitutional peoples, Serbs, Croats, Bosniaks, both entities, everybody, there's almost a consensus on this. Recent NGO polls say that 80% of the people support the EU integration process. And what is also important, that one of the polls said that the regional cooperation and improving our relations with neighbors, first of all, is also backed very much by everybody. And I think through this I can partly answer your question in how do we see real effect of initiatives like this. Is very important for us because it's pushing us forward on the most important European path. And you know, in Bosnia and Herzegovina, people maybe, I hope nobody will mind from the rest of the panel, but people see this as maybe the process more important to our country than to anybody else. Because in Bosnia and Herzegovina you have most of the people who are adults who have fought one or two, some of them the most unlucky ones, even 3 wars in their lifetimes. And you know, they see the end of this process as the end of the wars in the region, and also some other benefits go as well along. So this is really something where we see our chance, where we see some good, maybe not financially direct benefits, but in general, socially and politically very, very important benefits. You also asked a question about the very direct linkage of the Danube strategy and this initiative that we are talking about today. Let me say that Bosnia and Herzegovina actively participate in the implementation of the Danube strategy, and experience and lessons learned from working on this strategy and implementing it is something that we are trying to use, and I think it's very useful for us in the process of implementation of the EU strategy of the Adriatic and Ionian region. To be able to transfer experience from the Danube strategy into the EU SAR strategy, it's important to create similar structure. We think it's important to use also regional experts, lessons learned, ensure adequate capacity within ourselves, and we will try to do that as well. So I think maybe it's not, of course, major political issue, but since we are talking about very concrete strategies, very concrete initiatives, I think this linkage and this connection between Danube strategy and the USCR is very important. It's good that you brought it up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Crnadak. Always dynamic. Nice.